Girl, now I got JoJo in the chat. What's good, JoJo? Hey, what's good, JoJo? Y'all know I love my JoJo. What's good, y'all? Shout out to everybody that's up in here. It's 92 of y'all up in here already, and it is greatly appreciated. So, all 92 of y'all asses should be liking up this live. Um, because we here to give y'all a treat. All right, we here to give y'all a treat and all that good stuff. It's been a couple of y'all that's been asking about her and her story or whatever, and a lot of y'all kept digging in Carlos' ass for bringing her up here, starting all this foolishness and not letting us in on like the details and what happened and how did things end up and so on and so such. And we're gonna get to all that. But y'all come on in. Y'all, please make sure to like up the live as y'all come. All right, please like up the live as y'all come. All right. Normally I get started at the 10-minute mark, but I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna get started at the 5-minute mark, and we are 3 minutes and 50 seconds in. So I hope Lexi is still ready and prepared in the bed. I hope she ain't ran off nowhere, child. Cause y'all know it's like I told her. All right, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. We had a conversation already a couple days ago, and I told her this ain't no bashing of Chris. All right, I was doing that during the season. The season is over with. You understand? I got my bashing out the way. This is real life. This is something that these people, are going through, and this is her story. This is something that she lives. So this isn't that. All right. This is just us to get her side of things because it's deserving. All right. So I want y'all to be cool in the chat, be easy in the chat. The mods, y'all already know what y'all need to do. The mods need to be modding. All right. I don't know how many people gonna show up. It might be a few, it might be a lot. I don't know. But mods, I need y'all to make sure that y'all mod. Make sure that y'all are making sure that the people like up, making sure that the people are being respectful in these comments, and making sure that the people in the comments, y'all, are creating colorful ways to say y'all curse words. All right. Now, without further ado, because we 5 minutes and 12 seconds in, let's go on ahead and bring on our special guest, honey. Okay, like I said, hopefully she ain't ran off nowhere. Um,
No, not this time.
I totally appreciate it. Hey, friend.
Hello, how are you? Hi, everyone.
I am great. I'm great. I'm so glad that you're here, Lexi. And it's like I told them, and I told you, I don't want you to think I'm not here to bash your dad. I'm not here to do none of that. And I
Right.
don't want you to think I want you to do that. Like I just want you to tell your truth and the way you see fit and tell your side of the story. And however the chips fall is how they fall. But I do not want you to think like this is me trying to pry for a like and a click. No, I want you to be able to say your piece.
I appreciate that. So, and I honestly don't care if anybody bashes them. So,
Ooh.
sorry, they're no longer family of mine. I haven't spoken to them since that dinner. So,
No, Lexi, say it ain't so, friend. Not since the dinner, you ain't talked to your daddy since that was one of my biggest questions.
yeah, I haven't talked to him since the dinner, which was in June, and they haven't seen my kids since November 2022.
Wow. Whoa. November 2022?
Yeah.
And this is January 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So, okay. Well, before we get there, okay, before we get there, I do want to give you the opportunity to let people know a little bit about you and your background and things like that. So, do you mind telling us just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So I actually live in Nashville.
Mhm.
I don't live in Huntsville, though I do have a lot of family, not the
Mhm.
Fletchers, in Huntsville, Madison, Harvest area. And yeah, I'm 32, got 2 kids. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty boring. And let's see, I've got other siblings here in Nashville. So I have a sister, I've got 2 brothers. Um, my father, who I identify as my father, is my stepfather. His name's Alonzo.
Mhm.
My mother here. So, yeah, I mean, there's not much about me. I'm a crazy dog person, crazy animal person. I've got a snake. I've got a bearded dragon. I've got a dog. I've got cats. Like I'm completely different from the Fletchers. I
Mm.
should be because I did not grow up with them. So
I get that. I get that.
yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. All right. And again, I want you to be as completely, brutally honest as possible.
Oh, don't worry.
Um, what was your experience of Chris as a dad growing up?
So, interesting question. I probably should have thought about this before I got on here. I never really spent a lot of time with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know him. I've never been alone with him. His wife wouldn't allow me to be alone with him, so I've never had one-on-one time with him to kind of get to know him and he get to know me.
Mm-hmm.
He's been kind of like in and out of my life. I've visited, a few times in summers, and I don't know if I've ever spent a holiday with them. Oh yeah, I did. I spent Christmas with them one time.
Mm-hmm.
I've never celebrated any birthdays with them. They've never attended any of my birthdays.
Wow.
Let's see, what else about him? I probably know as much as, the viewers, unfortunately. But Chris is extremely attractive, charming. He's so funny, loves to dance, loves himself, loves Sprite. I mean, this is sad, but like I'm sorry, guys. Like this is
No, it's okay. Say your piece.
But I mean, I don't know the man that much. I have celebrated like a couple birthdays with him as an adult, because I kind of like forced an invite on them. But yeah, I have Chris's face, and that's pretty much it. That's as close as we've been, because I've never spent time with him like that.
Wow. Okay. So has it always been like that with him, or did it get like them when he was with Nell?
So what people don't know, because I don't watch the show, guys. I'm sorry. I do love reality TV, but it gives me the ick. It's like real cringe to like watch them, so I don't watch the show. But my mom and Chris were married for almost 3 years. But I mean, of course, I was 3. I don't really remember. So all I know of him is him with Lornell. My earliest memories. I only know him with Lornell.
Okay.
And so the treatment has always been the same, because Lornell's always been there. She actually broke up my parents' marriage. She was the other woman in my parents' marriage, and she actually got pregnant while my parents were married. And once, I guess, Chris realized that my mother was not going to take him back, and because she had a hard time trying to get him to sign the divorce papers. You can ask his mother about that. Hey, Maddie. But she had a really hard time trying to get him to sign the papers. So after he realized she was not going to take him back, they got divorced, and then he married he married Lornell.
So you said that it's not a situation where, or is it, where he got with the next woman and he was just like, I don't want to deal with you and your mom. Y'all just do what y'all do. I'm over here. Or was he always just absent?
He's always been absent. He's always been someone who's wanted to have his cake. What is it? Have your cake and eat it too.
Eat it too.
He's always been that type of person. So I mean, he chased after my mom. That's probably one of the reasons why Lornell doesn't like you, because he pursued my mom. Lornell pursued him. So
wow.
That's what that is.
Okay, honey, I'm here for it. Now let me ask you this. Let's get down to the dinner. Now, me and you kind of sort of talked about that, but I didn't get too deeply into it with it because I wanted to save it for here.
Right.
So, from a viewer standpoint, how we look at reality TV is, well, they know that they have a call time to come do something, and then everybody just shows up to come and do it. They don't necessarily know who they're going to be filming with or whatever, with it, which in this case you did, your family. But other than that, you don't really know what you're going to get. You don't really know what's going to come up. You don't really know what's going to be discussed. So first of all, what was your reaction when you found out Chris was even featured on Love and Marriage Huntsville? Like, was you excited for him, or was you worried considering how your relationship was? Like, was you worried that was going to be brought up on TV, which it did?
I've never been a priority for Chris. I've never been, the first thought for Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So no. When I heard he was on the show, or that he was, because they have been trying to be on reality TV for as long as I know. I mean, they always wanted to. We've always had conversations. People have always told when I've been around the family, oh my gosh, your family's so funny. You guys should have your own show. Blah 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 blah. So I mean, and they're like, yeah, we really should have our own show. We're great. Blah blah. So I mean, they were excited. They've been. I mean, this is like, their time to shine. They're very happy, and kudos. I'm happy that you guys finally got on partly halfway on a reality TV show, but I wasn't really excited, honestly, because I watch reality TV, and for the life of me, I don't understand how some people go on a reality TV show, subject themselves to, all the outside chitter chatter comments, everything. And then things kind of like come up, like Jen Shaw, like she's in prison. Teresa, like their tax stuff comes up, like all your skeletons come out. Mm-hmm. So when I saw that he was on the show, I was kind of scared, honestly, because I thought there was going to be a ton of women to come out of the woodwork and be like, I slept with him last month. I know it. Like, I was scared for them. Mm-hmm. And then also scared for, their business. Cause like in their house, I don't know how they got all that stuff. So like, I was just nervous because I have not been privy to, how they got to where they are financially, because it's real new. They've only been in the place they've been in for about maybe a decade and a half, maybe. Mm-hmm. Because they didn't get that house until their daughter Kayla was either a senior or junior in high school, which I always thought was funny, because I'm like, why would you get this huge house and all your kids are gone? But they have always had this, keeping up with the Joneses type thing. They're real, like, label hungry and like follower. I don't know. They, materialistic and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know.
So when you got there, did you know that they was going to have any type of like conversations, like personal conversations? Or when you got there, was you expecting it to just be a normal yang, we gonna sit down, eat, maybe somebody will argue here and there, and then it's done? Did you expect it to go where it did?
I really didn't, because I've been in a good place, or I was in a good place with the Fletchers for the past 3 years. Mm-hmm. No fighting, nothing like that. So, and my husband and I came to the dinner under the pretense that we would be able to promote our business. Okay. So we were like, oh yeah, because Chris was like, come down, be on the show. You guys can promote your business. You have no idea, what that type of exposure with the show will happen, la la la. So we were like, heck yeah, let's go. Mm-hmm. So I just thought it was going to be like a nice, classy, which I don't know why I would think it's classy. It's the Fletchers. But I thought it would be like a nice, classy dinner. I was really looking forward to Lornell's cooking, because that lady can cook. Okay, that lady can cook. So I was really looking forward to the food, though it was cold when I got there. I still ate a little bit, though. But yeah, that's what I thought I was going into. And then, they started talking about little Chris. I don't know my siblings like that. I really don't have a relationship with little Chris. Mm. I just got his phone number a year ago because he refused to give me his phone number. He actually does not come around that family. He has told me multiple times, everyone in the family is fake. They're full of drama, and I don't got time for that shit. So he's like, I don't want to be around those people. But he came. But they're all also under Lornell's thumb, because she pays for so much, she supports them financially in so many different ways that, you kiss the ring if you want to keep getting, the money. Right. So I really didn't think they were going to talk about me because I'm nobody to them. Like, I'm the redheaded stepchild. I'm the black sheep or the white sheep of the family. So, like, I didn't think they'd come at me. And the dinner was going great. We were just talking. They talked about Kiki not keeping a job. And then they talked about little Chris. I didn't know he was in jail. About his dog. I don't know what Lan said. And then I don't know what was said or what happened, but they started talking about my mother. The Fletchers have never talked about my mother. When I say never growing up, they never badmouthed my mom. They never talked about my mom. They never brought her up. The only way, like, they would say, like, if I, wanted something, if I, like, wanted an iPad or if I wanted a laptop or something, be like, oh, yeah, that's something you need to ask your mom. We sent child support, so, ask your mom. Or if I'm like, why didn't I get to go on the vacation with you guys? They're like, oh, something you need to ask your mom about. That's been, like, the extent of my mom's involvement. And that's always been something that I respected about them because I love my mom. So when we were sitting at the dinner table, Kiki said something like, my mom does too much and she wanted to be in the delivery room with her when she had her baby. I barely know Kiki's son's name, okay? My mom doesn't know Kiki. She's never had a relationship with Kiki, never hung out, nothing like that. The only time Kiki has ever experienced my mom is when she got kicked out by the Fletchers and she was pregnant and she didn't have any baby stuff. She didn't have any money. She was struggling. And my mom and I came down to Huntsville and we gave her a breast pump. We gave her like a baby swing, a bunch of baby clothes, like just a lot of stuff. That was her only experience with my mother. So when she started talking about my mom doing too much, wanting to be, and then Lornell started chiming in, and then that's when I lost it. So in the clip that they showed, it was like, I'm talking about how, I was treated differently. And then it looks like someone said something and I just went off and I got up and I cussed them out and I left. No, they were talking about my mom for like a hard, 15 minutes. And I could not take that. I'm not used to that. I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't expect that. And that's always been like a no-go zone. So when they brought my mom up, I was like, okay, so this is like I deeped it. I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on now. I see what they're trying to do. Okay, so I took that opportunity to be like, I'm going to cuss Linnell out the best I can, and I'm going to get up and go. Because I've been wanting to cuss her out since I was a child. So I finally got the opportunity because I was like, I'm never going to see them again. Like, this is, like, I'm done. Like you guys think this is like because they said I do this at all the dinners. What dinners? I don't have dinners with you guys. Like, what? I've never been invited to dinner with you guys. I've only gone to like Thanksgiving a few times and Christmas a couple times. Other than that, we don't have family dinners. So when they're like, oh, she does this at every family dinner, this is what she does. Bitch, I've never been invited. Like, I don't come to y'all's family dinners. So I was like, okay, they all collectively must have had a conversation and decided that they were going to do this to me. And I was just like, all right, when people show you who they are, believe them. I, Angela, love you. R.I.P. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this family. They'll never see me again. They'll never see my kids again. They won't ever be involved in my life whatsoever. So yeah, I'm going to say, kiss my ass and I'm leaving because that's it. I've been wanting to say that to her forever because she swears up and down. I cussed her out one time. If you knew my parents, that is not something I do. Lornell and Chris have never been my parents. They have been like, a distant uncle and aunt, basically. So I don't really care. I mean, people are like, oh my gosh, those kids, and that's so disrespectful. Please understand that I'm not their child. When they lied and said they have 4 beautiful children, I was shocked. Why would you ever include me? Like, I've never been included. I've always been on the outside. So I did not understand. I still don't understand everything. But yeah, they won't ever see me again. On the ride home back to Nashville, I cried the whole way. And my husband was upset. And he was like, you know what? Honestly, if you ever have my kids around those people, I will serve you divorce papers. So it's that serious. Like, I don't Like, we're done. So I'm not going to apologize to people for cussing them out. I don't care.
And you know what? And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I do want to talk to you about the comments.
Yeah.
I do know for me, and I want to ask you this, because this has been a thing that's been floating around. I wish her mom was here, but I did
Yeah,
talk
she's
to her
over there.
mama, y'all. She did. Oh, she is here.
Yeah, she
Does
is.
she mind coming and answer some of these people questions so they can get the hell off my back?
Cornelia, would you like to come and join the fun? She's coming.
Child, because they want to hear from your mama so bad, girl. These people in the comments said, where her mama at? We don't want to hear from her. We want to hear from her mama. I said, Lord Jesus.
I am a reflection of my mother, which is another reason why Lynell hates me so much. But yeah, if you guys want to talk to the OG right here she is. Say hi, Mom. Hi, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well.
That is good. Listen, I'm not going to keep you long. I'm not going to pry, and I'm not going to get too messy. I'm not.
Okay.
But there are a lot of questions that I was having in my comments. I think I told you this when we talked. One of the biggest things that I had under my comments personally was that a lot of people felt like the way Lexi feels about her dad and Nell stems from you. So I want to know, and this is from your mouth, and everybody can hear it. Is there any truth to that at all?
Unfortunately, not. I really have been. I've tried. I was divorced. I'm gonna correct a couple things. I was married to Chris for 2 years total. I met Chris in high school, so I was, with Chris for a long time and did a lot of things. I was a crazy in love young lady, and got married, had a child, and it just didn't work out. It was, you find out when you're 22, infidelity. You try, you go to counseling, and then you find out that that's a habitual kind of behavior. So, I was a single mom for a long time before I found my wonderful husband. Lexi's dad stepped into her life when she was 5. But I encouraged Chris the entire time, because I didn't grow up with a father. My father was older, and so he was in and out, and my parents divorced as well. So I understand that gap of your life. So for me, I talk to Chris often. Money is one thing, but time is ever. Never take back any of that. So I've encouraged over the years, before I got married, I used to drive halfway distance to get her to him. So I did a lot of bridging because I really wanted that relationship to be there. And you shouldn't have to do that because that's your child, right? Even as she has become an adult, a lot of the things she knows now, it was challenging as a child because a lot of things she experienced, I had to be silent on. And then as she became her own, she became a single mother. So a lot of things I share with her as far as my life was to encourage her that you can do these things, right? You can move forward. I did it, right?
Right.
But one of the things that I encouraged constantly was, try. Just try, meet him halfway, forgive, continue to forgive. And as she became an adult, I kind of said, these are your terms. You have to be able to create healthy boundaries for yourself.
I agree.
But you definitely need to not, not give up on that relationship. I was the person that said she needed to have them at her wedding, but they were not invited until I stepped in, and I didn't want her to have that kind of regret, right?
Right.
I paid for them to have photos with her, at the wedding that was not planned, because of course her dad just been with her since she was 5. He walked her down the aisle. All of that has been a preconceived notion in her life based on the behaviors that she experienced as a daughter. So no, I've always encouraged, figure it out. It's important to have a balance because you always want to have that relationship with your dad. your parents, no matter what they, I mean, I have a similar situation, so I know how that goes, right? So, no, I was the person that encouraged until this, right? I never ever experienced or considered that
they hate me,
that this would have happened to my daughter. And, for you people, in the comments, it was really tough to see my child, treated that way. She's an adult, right? But they never stop being your child. But to see the comments and to see like what they sent home was brokenness. So at least one thing I can tell you that I've encouraged therapy for years.
And I've been in therapy since 14. All the people telling me I need to get therapy. I guess someone's going to say, oh, it's not working. You can get your money back. It's a process. Okay. I'm working on me.
And so that's something I was like, well, for this, we have to create healthy boundaries for ourselves. We have to be able to, push forward because she still has children that had a relationship, like at least my grandson, with his grandfather, and he's wondering what's going to go on, right? And he's isolated from that relationship now because it's not healthy. So no, I tried, but you can't do it by yourself. Somebody has to be able to step in and want you. And as my mom told me when I was getting divorced, she said, I didn't raise you to be mistreated. And I didn't raise my daughter to be mistreated.
That's right. So let me ask you this, and if it's too personal, you don't have to ask. Okay. Is Nell the reason why your marriage to Chris didn't work out, or was it other women? So that we just don't put it all off on her. Was it other women, or was it specifically her?
I mean, she won because she got pregnant. But go ahead.
Anyway, unfortunately there were a lot of women. She was one of the many. It was, and she, the challenging part about her is that when I was married to him, she was one of the people that called my house, and I talked to her on the phone, and I explained that I was, he was married, and I said, hey, he's married, like I'm the wife, and she begged my pardon. She said she was so sorry, and she, she said she would, she was going to excommunicate. She, really gave him the business on the phone. So for me, I just kind of assumed that was it. But when I had some family things that went on, and I had to leave because he was in the military at the time. We lived in North Carolina, and had to leave for a family situation. And he pursued me. He came. I was like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not sure what's going on, but I have to go to my family. I think we're going to have to divorce. This is not working for me. And when I came back, he actually came. I'm from Mississippi. He drove to Mississippi. I have no idea how he found me in Mississippi, but he drove, found me, came to my aunt's funeral, was there, supportive, which was, very convincing for me to come back home. And that was his thing. He wanted me to come back home. He wanted his marriage. He wanted his family. And unfortunately, when I got there, I found a plethora of evidence that he was not true. He was not telling the truth. I mean, and one of the things that I did find was letters from Miss Fletcher.
Wow.
So that the pursuant part of, of him, she was quite pursuant of him, it appeared. And I actually had I always tell women, one of the things you never do is meet or care about the other person that was invited into your marriage, because you didn't invite that person. You have a covenant with the person, the man. And so I had actually had lunch with her, and she explained to me again that she was not interested. She felt like she was fooled. She was part of this, situation that was, she felt she was the victim. So we kind of had this trauma bond, right? Like, whatever. And then unfortunately, time went on, and she was still there. So, I mean, and quite frankly, Terrence, I mean, I had truly moved on. It was a lot that I endured through that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. And you have to forgive and move forward. And what Lexi told you earlier about me having a relationship with her stepbrother, Lance, like I was the person, like my friends thought I was a fool at the time. I was the person that, her and Chris got together. She said Lance was her brother. She was so excited. She had a big brother. I was the person that would go over to their house and pick Lance up when we would go on our little field trips. And, I was doing, I would go to the movies. I would do things because this is from my child's perspective. So they've been, so for me, you have to see it through that. If I wanted to be married to that person, then I would have, stayed and fought for it, right? But if it's not for me to fight for, then you allow that person to move on, right? But I have prayed with Lornell for her marriage to Chris. So I have done a lot
after he cheated.
You have.
That I just really. They've been to my houses. They've been we've been it's lots of things that I just have done that this was it. I just didn't expect this, right? I mean, because for me, it's a you grow and you move on. And I found out they were on the television show, yay, because everybody blew up my text message saying, hey, guess who's on the show? And I'm like, yay for them, right? I don't have any ill will, wish them well. But, I just, for me, the treatment of Alexis, I didn't foresee. So there.
When did you see the scene in particular that she was in?
I did.
What was your thoughts as a parent? What was your thoughts watching it? Like once it all played out and it was over and done with, what did you think?
Well, I can back up to when she came home, right? Because I had to keep my grandchildren when she went, right? And she found out that she had to go on this show. And I just feel like, oh, well, be careful, be cautious. And when she came back, she was just she was a little broken Lexi that this was somebody I recognized early, right? So it was painful because my daughter was saying, I didn't realize they hated me so much. And then she just kept saying it. I didn't realize they hated me so much. And I had to, pick up the broken pieces that they sent me back and, tell her that she is more than enough and she is not defined by, comments on a show.
Right.
Or an experience that she didn't foresee. And, just because you want something, sometimes people aren't able to give you the best of who they are. And when they give you the worst, you walk away. And so that's kind of where I am. But then seeing the scene, yeah. It was, I had people calling me saying, you want to roll out? And I don't do that. And I was like, no.
I know that's right.
No. It's cool. It's cool. I mean, it's weirdly enough, Terrence, Lexi has been chasing this relationship forever. She has made a lot of concessions. And we have all kind of, as me, her dad, her siblings have all kind of looked at her and said, when is enough going to be enough? When are you going to say when?
Right.
This is just not something that's conducive to you having something healthy, right? I have a saying, you don't position yourself for crumbs because you deserve the whole damn bakery. And for her, she always was getting crumbs, right? So I just said, God, thank you to some degree because this is a different version of her because she's always been what they said was true. I told her don't block people,
and I didn't
because they ain't gonna call you no way,
and they haven't
because they hadn't called. They're not consistent in her life, and so for her, I just wanted her to be able to close that chapter and start anew because you parents out there that have this any similar, co-parenting situation, I can tell you that, one of the biggest challenges is the grass is greener.
Mm-hmm.
And Lexi was always looking for the other grass is greener. And what you see that you don't see the grass you have right here. So for us, it's, God knows I would not. If I could do it all again, I would say, girl, no, let's don't go. Let's don't have to go through any of that. But it has turned a different chapter in her life with them. And she says the door is completely closed. And maybe it is, right? But it sometimes
it definitely is.
You need to close the door so that you can heal. And you can, but forgiveness has to happen.
Yes, it does.
Because if you don't, you carry that frustration and that hatred forever, and that's not freedom, right? Mm-hmm. So sorry, I'm chatty.
Oh no, you fine. That's what this is for. Okay. That's what this is for. So this is perfectly fine.
This is my mom, not Lernell. I need everyone to understand.
So, Mama, let me ask you one more thing. Like I asked you before, I'm going to ask you again, because I know it's going to happen, especially since you came on this interview.
Okay.
If Carlos King sent you an email and said, Mama, I would totally love for you to come out here and shoot a scene with Chris and Elle and have a little scene, sit down to dinner, talk about your feelings and so on and some such, and I'll treat you good, I'll treat you right while you're here and blah, blah, blah. What would your answer be?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have no desire. I mean, life is hard enough, guys. I mean, your life is on complete display. And it's just damn tough, right? It's hard out here in these streets, and I'm trying to be able to go to work every day, and be able to, do the right thing, because I still have a 15-year-old. I mean, I'm still raising kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have my grandchildren, and you want to be able to model something that's going to be positive, right? And the unfortunate is because I don't watch reality TV. I watch this because people were like, you need to watch this because your daughter is like, yeah, these things, some things are being said. And so I get a lot of comments, and I get a lot of screenshots and videos and clips sent to my text message from friends I have throughout the country that watch the show. I had no idea it was so big. Like, I was like, what?
Yeah, it's surprising, but it is.
So people really watch this outside of the Southeast?
Yeah.
So I was really kind of shocked. And if it was like a positive, reinforcement of a celebration of Blackness, yeah, I wouldn't even mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if this is that kind of party. And I ain't mad at the party. But we work too hard to divide ourselves. And from what I understand, like, my husband is from Bessemer, Alabama. It's things that come out of Bessemer, Alabama. One of the young ladies is from Mississippi. I have a saying, everything good leaves Mississippi. So, there's good things that come from us, and specifically Black women. It's very challenging to see. Really challenging to see people just position themselves to tear each other apart. And I know, that kind of nice upping thing, that don't sell, drama kind of makes the ratings go up and all that. But it's, the one thing that's consistent about these shows is the producer people and the showrunners and the creators. We don't know nothing about their lives, do you? Because it's a toxic situation, and they're guarding their peace and their life, right? So, no, it's not something I desire. I hats off to Lexi. Thank you so much. You and several other content creators saw the authenticity in her shock and dismay, and saw more than a cussing girl that was saying, I'm gonna burn everything down. Which I was like, oh my God, I was doing a lot of girl. Wait a minute.
I didn't mean it
a
literally.
lot of that stuff. But it was, it's hard enough to live day to day. And it is, I want us to be celebrated.
Yeah.
I don't see enough celebration in this situation. And giving people grace, it's a tough thing. Everybody want to be entertained, but at what cost?
Right.
Like, what cost are you being entertained? So, all right. Am I off? Am I done?
Yeah, you fine, Mama. Thank you so much for coming up here.
Okay.
Child, everybody is going up for your mama, honey. They live for her. I live for her too. She remind me of my mom.
I love her. She's the best.
So did you watch the reunion at all or no?
I watched a couple clips, but I don't watch the show, so I'm not gonna know what's going on. I love reunions, so I was just like, I'll just look at the people that I know, which is just the Fletchers. I don't know any of the other cast, so I saw a few things that they've said, but yeah.
So I know for me, when I was watching the reunion and they was talking to your dad and your stepmom, what annoyed me was the fact that, and I love you to pieces, Carlos, is no shade, friend. But I personally got annoyed at the fact that they had asked the questions towards little Chris. And I felt like the real question that we all genuinely across the board wanted to know was, where was the relationship between y'all now? And I think you answered that at the beginning of this. But for the people in the back that didn't know, since all of that happened, has Chris reached out to you at all to say, daughter, I'm sorry after watching it? I see how it looks. I apologize. My bad. What can I do to make things better? Have you not gotten anything at all from him?
No, not a text, not a call. There's been no pigeons with letters. Oh, he did send gifts for my kids. So he sent Christmas gifts for my kids. He didn't send anything for my daughter's birthday or acknowledge it, or my birthday. But he did send Christmas gifts to my parents' home because he does not know where I live. Because, say it with me, everyone, we don't have a relationship. So he sent it to my parents' home, and I had my mom send it back to them because I don't want or need anything from them. What I need is for them to leave me alone. This facade that you guys want to put on for this reality show, whatever you guys want to do, I can't tell you how happy I am for you. But I do understand that I was used as a pawn in this, and that lets me know everything I need to know. So you don't like me. You guys hate me. You don't love me. You don't want a relationship with me. And as hard as that is to swallow, it's like, fine, but allow me to heal. Allow me to, move on from the relationship and heal. But, him sending gifts, Christmas gifts for my kids, I think it was more of a strategic thing. Like, I guess if he's asked, on the show or anything, well, I sent them Christmas gifts and she sent them back. That was the only reason why. Like, it's not because he's like, oh, I just love my grandkids. No. They have 2 other grandkids from Lance, and they treat them. It's night and day, the treatment of my children and they're the other 2 kids. So and I love them to pieces, which I'm not going to cry because I now cannot have a relationship with confidence with my niece and nephew because of all of this. So that is really hard for me. But
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's but let me take a breath.
Yeah, I get it. I think that's the thing that sucks. And I know for me, I gag shows a lot, and I love to talk my stuff and so on and some such, but it does it breaks your heart when because see, we forget, this is reality TV, but these are people real lives. Like when the cameras finish stop, their lives are going. The beat don't stop because the camera don't. And so I know for me, I personally wanted to see there be some type of resolve or some type of resolution. As a viewer, I personally did. And I ain't gonna stop hope, Lexi. I'm not gonna stop hope. Sometimes it takes people a little bit longer. All right. I ain't even gonna do that. I'm gonna hope that you and Chris do come to some sort of resolution with each other, and for the sake of the grandkids, you know.
I feel like
Like,
that would definitely happen
mm,
if he makes it to heaven. I feel like we're definitely going to have that conversation in heaven. But
oh
I think
Lord,
that's the next time that he'll speak to me or see me, because it's done. I'm sorry, and for all the people out there who want to see a resolution, you need to understand the things that I've gone through, especially as an adult with the Fletchers. I can't keep subjecting myself and my family and my kids to it. I just can't. And to be like really, really raw with everybody, I actually I struggle with my mental health. I have anxiety and depression. And early last year, I had a hard time, and ambulance and police and everyone was called, because I was not on my SSRIs, which is medication, and I hit a really low point. And a month after that was my son's birthday, and I reached out to Chris and I asked him if he wanted to come to the party and everything, and he was upset with me because my son didn't call him and wish him happy birthday on his birthday, which is still hard for me because he's a child.
right?
He struggles to say happy birthday to me on my birthday. What I get from my son is, so what are we going to do when my birthday comes? Like, he's a child. So
Right.
I didn't understand that. And then I was just like, look, I'm sorry. We had a lot going on, and it slipped. I apologize. Happy belated birthday. I'm sorry he didn't call. And then he just kind of went on to tell me how much that hurt him. And and then I got upset because I was like, what hurts me is I only hear from you if I call. Like, you don't ever reach out to me. You don't call me. So then I got into my feelings and I got upset. And I was like, what you don't know is, XYZ happened, a month ago. And I've been struggling and dealing with that. And he was like, well, he sent me a text. He's like, well, nobody told me that and I didn't know. Not are you okay?
Right.
Or how far did it get? Or he had no concern or care about what I had told him, which was really strange to me, because I feel like if my children told me, something as serious as, they wanted to take their own life, I would drop everything. I would drop everything. And then he didn't. And then a week later, he reached out to my husband and asked if we could come on the show to promote the business. So for me, so I hope everyone heard that and can understand. So put yourself in my shoes. If you have gone through such a mental hard time breakdown that you no longer wanted to be here, and you told your parent and they just said, well, no one told me. And then not only that was their only response, they then plotted with their family to get you down to come on a show, to embarrass, to hurt, to, all the things. After that had happened to me, it was only like 2.5 months apart from my mishap to the family dinner. So when I say there's no way to come back,
for me,
I couldn't accept that.
That cut for me just now, because you're telling me this happened to you when you're his oldest daughter. But when little Chris said that he was going through mental things, he cried, and it meant something to him, and so on and some such. And I remember even that pissed me off, because if you watch my review, I said, well, Chris, where was all of that for your daughter? Like, we all in my little YouTube community, we all felt that way. See, that was the reason why I wanted you to come up here, because I knew your side, was going to be real telling. And I think it needed to be heard. And I hope by you doing this, it gives you a little bit of comfort, at least knowing that some of us know the real. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? We're
yeah,
not just relying on Love and Marriage Huntsville and what's shown up there.
yeah. Because, and honestly, for me, when going back to when you're like, oh, were you excited for them to be on the show? The Fletchers, there's so much drama and just insanity that I've experienced and know about them. So I was like, oh, okay, like people who like this show, get ready because I'm sure they're going to give you guys a run for your money. And then all the little clips I see are falsehoods, and it's just kind of like, I don't understand, because if you guys like want so hard to get like a spinoff or be, permanent cast members, I feel like if they were just real and honest about their life and things that they've gone through, oh my gosh, that's 5 seasons right there. Like,
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, and not trying to shit on Lernell, but it's the amount of women that Chris has stepped out on her with, that it, allegedly, I'll say allegedly.
Okay.
Okay. There's just so much. There's so much that they could have pulled from. I mean, there was a time, I think I was in like 6th or 7th or 8th grade, and I didn't hear from Chris, see Chris, anything for 2 years, and I was upset. And then come to find out, Lernell told me that he had actually left the family and he moved out, and he moved in with his girlfriend and her kids, and he left their family for 2 years. Lance had to drop out of high school to help Lernell pay the bills.
Jeez.
I mean, tragic. Like, I mean, just sad. But it's like, hello, like you guys could have put that on there. People would have been like, delicious. Like, you know what I mean?
Would've.
So it's just, for me, I'm like, why not put the real stuff? Why not put the struggle? You know what I mean? Like, when they moved to Huntsville, well, actually they moved to Harvest, and they didn't have any money, and they moved in with friends. And it was, 4 adults and 4 or 5 kids and a 3-bedroom home. Mm-hmm. And Lernell worked at the Dollar General, and, they were just, they were going to church, and, they were very humble. And I remember that being like my favorite time with them, because they were, I don't know, I guess because since life humbled them, they were kinder. I guess they were kind of down, so they were kinder. And I mean, put that on there, that you guys, there were such financial issues and whatever else, y'all ran out of Atlanta. I mean, they ran from Atlanta. I don't know what happened there, but they ran from Atlanta. And it's like, that's a story right there.
It
so
is.
It's like, I mean, even with their daycare, with, the conflict between Lernell and, God rest her soul, her beautiful mother, Betty, there's drama there. I mean, because they've only had the daycare for about 10 years, I think. 10 or 14 years, something like that, because the daycare was Betty's, Lernell's mom. And then when they, moved back to Alabama, and they were trying to get on their feet, she started working for her mom, and then slowly took over the business. I mean, you could talk about that, like there's just, I mean, there are endless things. Lance and, his daughter that he had at 16 with the girl, and her whole situation that she had going on. I am not going to, for the sake of my niece, say anything about her mom or that situation. But when I tell you, if I didn't know them, but I knew their story, delicious, chef's kiss. Like, right. That's the type of drama. It's like, I'm sorry, he did what?
Right.
Like, I mean, it's so good. So when I'm just like, why come on here and like put on this facade? Like, you guys have been this well-established, well-off Black family that, cares about their community. I think my mom told me, someone said on the show that they have some annual fundraiser. Since when?
I think it was a bug bag drive. I think it was.
Since when?
But that's interesting that you said that, because on that scene, Melody said that she didn't know that they had those every year. And a lot of reviewers got confused by that because then they questioned, well, how long did y'all really know each other? Because if y'all friends like that, how did you not know that they was having book bad drives? So to hear you say this now, that does put validity to a lot of what, Lord Jesus.
Well, I mean, I don't. I'm just
saying, a lot of people felt that way, and I you know.
Yeah, and because I mean, and that's great. I mean, kudos to them that they are actually pouring into their community because they are very self-involved people. They are very, all about the image, and I've got this amount of money, I drive this kind of car, blah blah blah, and that whole scene at the dinner when they're talking about the cars. Can I have a moment?
Yeah, please straighten that up because that was a big thing too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it started when it was right before Christmas, and I was down there with my son, and they were. I was talking about, and they always do this one-up thing with me, which I've always hated. The kids always did this with me. I was talking about, oh my gosh, I want to go to Victoria's Secret to get this like jogger set or whatever. And then they started talking about, oh yeah, I think my brother's first ex-wife, or Lance's first ex-wife. Sorry, not really a brother now, but his first ex-wife. They were saying that, oh yeah, Lernell just spent $3,000 in Victoria's Secret on her, getting her all this stuff, and we got these bracelets because they had some promotion and blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, I'd love something from Victoria's Secret. Silence, nothing happened, obviously. They just kind of ignored me and went on. And then I come down for Christmas, the next week or whatever. And what do you think they got me? Victoria's Secret, sweatpants. And I was very happy about that. And then they, brought out the cars. A really nice Mercedes for Kayla. Little Chris got a limited edition Super B Charger. Lance actually didn't get a car. Kiki, I don't know. I have no words for Kiki. I don't know what she got. But it was just their kids. Because please understand and believe, the kids they love and really, really care about are Chris and Kayla. That's it. Even Lance has not been treated kindly by the family. He didn't get a car until he pitched a fit and stopped talking to Lernell for months or weeks or something. And I guess she couldn't stand it. And then she bought him a Challenger. So he got a car. And then I was just like, and I had a car. I had a little Altima. It was, 2006 or something Altima. And, and I was just like, oh, are you guys going to get me a car? Or like, I don't understand what's going on. And they were like, oh no, you need to ask your mom about that because we pay child support. And I was just like, okay, all right. That's fine. And so I just didn't get a car, but that's just like, and I had a car to drive, and it's not about the fact that they have a luxury vehicle. I mean, I drive a Tesla now. So like, but it was about the fact that I was always, I felt like if Lernell had the opportunity to show me that I wasn't anything, like I didn't matter, she took that opportunity. And because she was like, oh my God, you're so mad. Do you want us to get you a car? Oh, I'll get you a car if it's such a big deal. I was like, okay. I'm still waiting on that car. So like, it's not about the car, people. Like I'm not materialistic like they are. Like I'm really not. I mean, Lernell loves, like, right before that dinner, she showed me her closet, which was insane. And she showed me the amount of Dolce & Gabbana and Louis Vuitton and Chanel and Balenciaga and blah, 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 and all this other kind of stuff. Just like bragging, especially knowing that she knew that, like, one day I will own a Chanel purse. My middle name is Chanel. I love Chanel. I've always wanted a Chanel bag. But her just showing, she's like, I've got this from Chanel and this and this and this. And it's just like, I mean,
right.
Good for you. But that was her way of showing, like, see, because Chris gets me Chanel, not you. Like, it's just her way of like, doing like a little dig. And I don't know. I've never understood her problem with me, but I've always been treated differently. Anytime if they got anything for their kids, if I wanted what they had, like if I'm like, oh, you got them a Game Boy, can I get a Game Boy? No, you ask your mom for that. We pay child support. And it's just like, okay, I need everyone to understand there's not like a copious amount of things that they have gotten me. There's not a copious amount of time that they've ever spent with me. They never went to any of my cheerleading games. I was a part of Jack and Jill. They weren't involved in that. Youth Leadership Franklin. So many things that I was involved in that they never supported, never cared about. But if I was brought up in any capacity, they just loved to brag about me because I was the only kid of theirs that actually had something going on. Because my parents are huge with academics, like, and that's their focus because, education is the one thing no one can ever take from you. So, I mean, that was my parents' focus. The way I was raised was vastly different than the Fletcher children. So we just had, different priorities and everything. So, yeah, I don't even remember where I was going. I'm getting off on a tangent. But, but yeah, it's not about the cars, people. It's just about the fact that every time there's an opportunity to do something for the Fletcher kids, which they included me in their kids, I was never included. I never went on a vacation with them. They went on a vacation and invited their employees and didn't invite me and my son. And I remember Lynell saying something like that at the dinner, like, oh, that was an employee appreciation. I'm sorry. You had the nerve to invite all your kids and employees, and then you didn't invite your daughter? Like, what? Right. I don't understand. And I think she said I was being rude to her at the time. And it was like, no, we were on good terms then. So, like, I don't understand. Just tell me you hate me, you don't like me, you don't want me to come around, you want nothing to do with me. You would love if I would just leave your husband alone and your family alone. And you know what? I would have swallowed that pill, kept in my therapy, and moved on. But putting me in a place to embarrass me on such a large scale and make me out to look like I'm some money crazed child of theirs, it's like, no, guys, like I don't have dinners with the Fletchers. I don't spend time with them like that. I was only there to promote our business, and on my kids' lives, that was the only reason I was there, and that was what I thought I was getting into. So when they took the opportunity to all collectively go in on my mother, that was it.
I get it.
And my husband, everyone's like, why is he not saying anything? I have told Alan, my husband, I'm like, do not say anything. Don't ever engage with the Fletchers if there's anything going on. I was like, I don't want those problems. If you were to get into a fight with Lance and Chris, like, I don't need those problems. Like, let me handle the Fletchers because technically they're my family. So just let me handle them. And you sit there. I'm like, if they try to get physical or something, okay, I'm gonna need you to, boss up. But if they're just talking, let them talk. I will handle that. I don't need you to say anything because if he were to step in and say anything, I guess at the table, I was still kind of hoping like, oh, if I leave or I'm going to leave and I'm crying, I'm like, maybe Chris will like reach out and just apologize something. But I'm like, if Alan were to get involved at that dinner, even if I would like wanted to forgive Chris, it would have been a no-go for him because he would have gotten entangled in all of that. So that's the reason why I was like, please do not speak. And he was also, both of us actually partook in some really our product. So we had a CBD store. So, we had some THCA and we were, partaking before because I wasn't like, I didn't think anything was going to like, happen. I didn't think anyone was going to come at me. So I'm like, I'm real relaxed. Like I'm chilling. I'm laughing. I'm giggling. We already smoked. We feeling good. We're just eating. You know what I mean? And then I'm just like, did someone say Cornelia? I'm sorry. Did someone say my mom's name? And then that's when it went left because I was just like, I had no idea. I was not prepared, like at all. And Kayla, I think she called me a bitch when I left or something. She's never said. I've always said and maintained that Kayla was like Switzerland, because she would never say anything. She was always kind. She was always sweet, and I was always like, she is, the exception to the rule when it comes to the Fletchers. I thought, because she didn't. But then she is a cleat chaser, so I was like, of course she's going to try and say something, get a little relevance in, because her one and only goal in life is to be a basketball or football wife, football wife. Sorry, an NFL player wife. So of course she's gonna like say her little whatever. But I was just like, I did not know fame and all that ish meant so much to them. I knew they wanted to be on TV and wanted to have their own show, but at the expense of losing a family member or members, I did not think it was that serious. Like, it's not like they're on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Thank you, Carlos, for that, by the way. But it's like, I don't know. Whatever. I didn't understand.
I get it. Child, well, listen, we done reached our hour, so I ain't gonna keep you here for too much longer. But I do want to ask you before you go, though, what is the biggest takeaway that you want people to take away from this when it pertains to you and your mom and the situation as a whole? What is the biggest thing you want them to know?
I guess the biggest thing would be the Fletchers do have the capability to be good TV, good drama and everything. What they are giving to the people right now is a lie, a complete falsehood, and who they are to their core isn't anything that I think anyone would want to model after. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, go ahead and support them. People who love Lornell. I don't have any reason to hate or be upset or anything. I'm on a healing journey. I'm moving on from these people. But I would super appreciate if everyone who watched this, who took the time to watch this and hear what I had to say, to consider it being the truth, or even if you consider part of it being the truth, I would appreciate that, mainly because of my mom. So I had no intention of, because I had influencers reach out to me because they wanted to do interviews. I had no intention of doing anything. I was like, I'm going to let this die like the relationship. But after seeing how it hurt my mom, that's what broke me. Mm. So I would super appreciate if hopefully you guys can see the realness, the authenticity and everything in my mother and I, and realize that we want no parts in this. I'd appreciate if everyone just stop with all the comments about I should get this and I'm a disrespectful kid to I am not a Fletcher. Never have been, never will be. You guys won't see me on that screen ever again. So let it die. Take my word for what it is. And that's it.
Well, thank you so much, Lexi, for coming, baby. And I meant what I said. Anytime you want to hit me up, you got my number, child. We can talk.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you, boo.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, babe.
Bye.
Ciao. So, hold on. What is good, y'all? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That was a good interview, y'all. I actually really appreciated it. I liked the interview a lot. It went good, and Lexi did such a good job. Like, she was so nervous. I said, "Girl, both our asses can't be nervous. Somebody got to get their shit together." But we both did what we had to do, and I totally appreciate it, y'all. What the heck is y'all up in here talking about? I did a good job, bestie. Well, thank you, friend. I appreciate it. Do I believe her? I do. I do, y'all. I do believe her. Listen, I believed her watching the show. And I told y'all that then in my reviews that I believed every word of what Lexi was saying. I told y'all that then. I told y'all that. And again, like I said, this was for Lexi to tell her truth. All right. If people want to consider that bashing, then that's on them. But this was for this young lady to get up here and tell her truth the way that she see fit. Because, like I said, on the show, they didn't dive into it. All we saw was what we saw, and there was no takeaways. And a lot of people left that feeling like she was this and she was that and she was bitter. And oh, she's only doing that because of her mama, and her mama made her feel like this. And I was just like, nah, I don't believe that. Now, don't get me wrong. When it comes to some people, yeah, I can understand why people will feel that way in some situations. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it, but not every situation is like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like, nah, I don't think that. And I always felt as though she needed a place to say what she had to say. So yeah, I do. I believe her. I don't believe she'll get up here and make up no lies on that man. I don't. I don't. Like that takes too much time and energy to make up a lie and think of lies about somebody that you don't really fool with like that. Like, the story was way too detailed and all of that. Thank you guys so much for your cash apps. I saw the two cash apps. Thank y'all, boo. 111. I totally appreciate y'all. That meant a lot. Thank y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah. Thank a couple of y'all. I saw another one that I had gotten earlier on in the live. I can't find it now. But thank you so much, Boo, for that. It was greatly appreciated. Um Thank you again. Thank you for the cash apps, y'all. I see the cash apps coming in. Thank y'all for that. I appreciate that. Child, this was a star-studded event, wasn't it? Anthony Lofties came up in the chat. I saw you, bitch. All right, Anthony Lofties came up in the chat. True T. Shout out to my good sis, True T. True T was up in the chat. Hey, girl. Um, Scotty came up in the chat. Girl, it was a lot of y'all. I totally appreciate all of y'all for coming up in here. Child, listen to y'all talk about something publicly bashing. No, I think the publicly bashing was already done when we saw the episode. All right. So if we gonna say this was a bashing, then so was the episode. That was a bashing too, because all of them bashed her ass. Okay. So if this is a bashing, then a bash for a bash. How about that? If y'all gonna consider this a bash, well, it's a bash for a bash. How about that? And that's the way I look at it. Thank you, Patches. Okay, Patches just made 5 of y'all memberships. Patches just gifted 5 people new memberships. So y'all, whoever the 5 people are, they got the membership. Y'all make sure to thank Patches. Mammy. All right, y'all make sure to thank Patches. Who he choose? Uh Can's Big Sis. She's Glam, Dimples. I'm Christina, Scotty. Yes, God. Will y'all make sure to thank my man, Patches, for making y'all members, honey. Scotty do need a membership. Matter of fact, I need to subscribe to Scotty channel. Quiet as it's kept. I need a membership too, damn it. So now I gotta sign up for his because he done got one of mine. So now I gotta go and get one on his. Child, ain't that something? Right. Scotty can't help that he was gifted from my man. All right, he can't help that he was gifted that. Girl, what you mad for? All right, if you want a membership, just ask my man for a membership. And the next time he decide to be generous or whatever the case may be, he'll treat you right. I'll make sure he do. This was deep. It was deep. It was deep. It really, really was. But she got through it like I knew she would. I totally appreciated her mama for being there. Like I said, she reminded me of Joy Sand. Definitely shout out to her mama, honey. I live. Very poised, very classy lady. So definitely shout out to the both of them. The both of them did a really good job. Miss Wanda was up in here. I saw you, Miss Wanda. Miss Wanda was up in here, I think, in the beginning of this thing, Miss Wanda. I think it was at the beginning of this thing, girl. Miss Wanda tiptoed her ass up in here, girl. This was Miss that was Miss Wanda tiptoeing her ass up in here, girl. Child, Lord Jesus, Miss Wanda, I saw you. You can't get by me. I ain't saying nothing, but I saw you. Um, ain't that nice? We got another gifted. D gifted somebody a membership. Who? Janice. All right, Janice. Shout out to Janice. Janice got gifted by D. Janice, make sure you thank D for your gifted, girl. Oh, you still in here? I saw you, Miss Wanda. I ain't want you to think I was being funny, but I saw you. But I saw you. You know, you can't get up in here by me and I don't see you. Child. I wonder if Chris and Nell gonna come in here. Again, Chris and Nell, I ain't got no problem with y'all. Well, I ain't got no problem with Nell. You know. But at the end of the day, it's just a show, and I'm not that type of person. Like, I mean, if y'all want to refute anything, Chris and Nell, I don't mind y'all coming around here refuting anything. Ain't no beef like that. All right? It ain't no beef like that. Like, I don't want y'all to think I'm being messy and that this ain't what this is. Again, I say, this is not what this is, and I'm fair. I'm very fair. All right, y'all know I don't get down like that. I don't do all that because this is family stuff. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not like, if you want to refute something, fine. I'm not like that. Not Miss Wanda in the building. Ain't she in the building? She was in the building this morning too, Scotty. You ain't see her this morning? With Fred and Tiffany, we ain't even talk about that. But I honestly hope this doesn't turn into a back and forth between him and her. I hope it don't either. I really hope that he hears her and hears her heart. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I hope it does. On some real. I really hope he just see it as like a cry, sort of say, and it softens his heart. You know what I'm saying? And it really do make him like look at shit and put stuff in perspective. And I really hope it make them be like, you know, damn, that's my oldest. I got to do better. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I hope it do. You know what I'm saying? I really hope it doesn't turn into all of that because they ain't got to be all that. I hope they can repair their. But me too. Me too. And it ain't gonna happen right now. And I know it's not gonna happen right. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not gonna happen right now, Lexi, and it ain't supposed to happen right now. Right now, y'all need y'all space apart and y'all need y'all time, and you need to get yourself together. He need to get himself together. Maybe, eventually, after a while, once y'all are like better mentally and emotionally and so on and some such, they can like sit and actually talk And I really want them two to work it out. She can worry about Nell and all of that later. I really want Chris and Lexi to work it out. I want that to be the main focus, not her, Nell, Lance, and little Chris and Kayla and all them. Nah, her and her dad. Like it has to start with them. You know what I mean? Everything else will come. But when that time comes, I really hope it start with them and them alone, and they work that out. Then maybe everything else will be able to just fall in line. You know what I mean? That's what I really do hope. No shade. Y'all know I joke a lot and all that, but y'all also know I'm very serious when it comes to certain things, and this is one of them things. But anyway, you said this interview would do numbers because Lexi spilled a lot of tea. Lord, I hope it do something. It was over 500 of y'all up in here. I appreciate it. Okay, I appreciate it. It was over 500 of y'all up in here. I take it. I take it. Over 300 likes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. And that you enjoyed the interview, even though you came in 34 minutes late. How could you come in 34 minutes late when I made this length over the weekend? You had 3 days, and you knew that this was gonna be at 7:15 on a Wednesday. How did you show up 34 minutes late? You better have just got off work. It's definitely gonna do numbers, and it's gonna make its rounds around the LAMA sector. Ciao. Now that, Scotty, I'm not looking forward to. I ain't even gonna hold you. Now, y'all know True T is welcome. Who knew is welcome. You know, who else? Empress is welcome. You know what I'm saying? Marcella, they all them is welcome. But when they talk, she welcome. Chit chat with QT, she welcome. You know what I mean? But child, Sassy TV from the 803, all them welcome. But child, I don't want no mess. Okay, I don't want no mess in these comments. I don't want no mess. I really don't. All right, don't y'all make this about Melody. Don't y'all turn this about Melody. Melody should have nothing to do with this. I bet not see Mel name and nobody comments. You understand me? Oh, it's this. I thought I heard something wrestling and ruffling and all that. Interview Chris and hear his side. Let him share his views too. I just said New Orleans D. Chris, Nell, if y'all want to come around here and give y'all side of the story, I'm not like that. No matter what I may say on my reviews or whatever the case may be, that's business. Okay, that's business. If y'all want to refute anything, hit me up. Okay, giving you the real tea. That's 1-800 giving you the real tea. I told you I'm not like that. If you want to come around here and say your piece for you, Ted, cool, I got no problem with that. I done told you that. But I ain't hitting you up. If y'all care that much, y'all can let me know that. And then I will make a thumbnail. We can talk and set something up the same way I did for your daughter and and your ex-wife, and I mean, We could do the same thing. I told you, I'm not like I ain't messy. For real, for real. If you want to come around here, Chris, you are more than welcome, nigga. Okay. It was a lot of mail in the comments. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I don't want no mess. None. None of this had nothing to do with Mellow Mellow. I don't want no mess. Thank you, Nola. I'm looking good. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. All right, CCF Free. Listen, I'm about to go too. All right. I'm trying to wait until the hour and 30-minute mark. It's 2 minutes left. So, you know, what else y'all got to say before I end this? Don't worry, CCF Freak. I'm right behind you. My tea gone anyway. He ain't coming because he don't want to talk about those missing 2 years. Ooh. But again, Chris, again, if you want to refute anything, it'll copyright itself, boo. I ain't got to do it. It'll copyright itself. Trust me. Okay. But I'll be on the lookout for it, Goddess Love. I saw you when you said it first time. I appreciate you, love. Thank you, Prosperity. I saw you over here cutting up too. I ain't saying nothing, but I saw you. Um, okay, yeah, shout out to Queen City. Love you too, Rocky. Thank you. A couple of y'all giving Chris a lot of grace. Interested. I'm see. Okay, we about to be done because I ain't got time for unpopular opinion. I ain't got time. Um, but anyway, y'all, that's it. That's all I got. I done made it to the hour and 30-minute mark, so this is a good time. Shout out to everybody that came through with this. Shout out again, once again, to Lexi and her beautiful, beautiful mother. I totally appreciate the both of them coming up here and being vulnerable with not only me, but all of you guys as well. And they did it willingly. So I totally appreciate them again. And I would love to have Lexi back around here again. If something else going on, honey, and you got something you got to get off your chest for you, Ted, hit me up, girl. You got my number. I totally appreciate all of you guys. Shout out for the super chats that I received. Thank you guys so much for the cash apps. Thank you so much again. Pat, my man, Patches for gifting the subs, the memberships. I mean, thank you to Do 2D. I'm always in the bushes, T, but I had to come and say it was a very good interview. Keep up the good work. Thank you, 803. That's God, Miss 803. What's good, boo? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I totally appreciate you, friend. Thank all of you guys for being here. Shout out to all of the mods. I totally appreciate y'all for that. And yeah, y'all, until next time, girl, I'll holler at you. Bye.
So tonight